What drives you to do this? Why?
Well, a couple things, but one thing I always think is whenever you go on a run, right? I always think you learn something new, whether it's like a euphoric thought, a thought about your business, something always interesting that comes to you. So I find it very peaceful and clarity. And I also like to push myself, push the boundaries, see how far I can push myself. I want my boys to see their dad as like somebody who's like strong, lives a healthy lifestyle. And my dad was a runner. And so like, that's kind of like what drives me. And I want to like get to that breaking point, if that makes sense. Like I remember like I had a military, he's actually a Marine, high school basketball coach. And he just like would push you to like your breaking point. And then you can go a little further, and you can go a little further. And then when you look back on it, you're like, whoa, dude, like I did a lot more than I think I could actually. So, when I've run several, I think 7 marathons in the past, and have we run 2 or 1? Just 1, right?
1. Did we run the second?
I ran the first one, and then the second year I didn't run because you did a half, right?
Half, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool, yeah. So we did 1. But when I ran that one with you, like, you were like, oh, like, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. Like, you were like, I mean,
I don't
obviously
think you did too much
it was your
practice.
first one. It was your first one.
terrified.
So you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, look at me. Like, I was just like rolled out of bed. I'm like, let's do this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was still running and everything. But as far as like the mental fortitude and the challenge, I was like, I know right now, if you wanted to, like, I can go out and bang out a marathon right now. Like, in 2 seconds. It might not be the best time, but I could definitely probably get it with under like 5 hours for sure. So I was like, all right, 100K, like my butt started to pucker a little bit, like I was like, oh, maybe I should do a 50K or like a 60 or whatever it was. And then, then I was just like, oh, the 100, like, ooh, like, I don't even know if I should do that. And then I was just like my hand was like going over, like, you're paying for this now because you said you were going to do it. And I wanted to do it. So I ran this in 2024. I said I was going to do one in 2023. And so I knocked it out, right? And then now I'm kind of like, all right, I felt like I had more in the tank. I kind of learned some things. Now I'm like, damn, the 100 miler, what's that going to be like? And that's going to be even less runners.
At any point, did you want to quit when you were doing the 100K?
No, I didn't want to quit. I was definitely kind of like very perturbed and pissed off at a couple of points. There was one point where I was calling it the Everest of Thailand, where you're going up this mountain at like a 60, 70 degree slope, and you're just ass to ass in this chain gang, and people are like farting, and like you're just on this, like, you see this little trail and you're poles and you're sliding, and then you might look up and see like these little headlamps, and then like they'll disappear, right? And then on my watch, I had it set up where it was like ETA, expected time of arrival, and I thought at that time it was going to be from like checkpoint to checkpoint, but sometimes it was just like 1 mile to the turn, and then it'd be like a big junction, right? It might be like 1 mile, and then you turn, and then as soon as you turn, it would say 3.75 more miles, and you're like, okay, and then you might make one more turn, and it's like 1 more mile, and it's like then you were kind of done. So it's taking me destination to destination. So going up, it was like 2 miles, and I was just like, oh my God, this is like unbearable. But you don't even kind of think about it. You just like kind of keep going, and then you like somebody would like step off the chain gang, and then there would be like 6 people, and you're just like, and then somebody would step off, and the next thing you know, you'd be like with 3 people, then you'd be up, and then you'd look back, and there would be like some headlights coming up, and then maybe you would step off. And I remember one time I stepped off, and like I was like, oh, and then you see people just literally like, you're thinking you have a couch over there, we have these comfortable chairs, you think, oh, like I could maybe, like, if I really had to, I could take a nap, right? You wouldn't just be like, oh, I can slump over on this wall and take a 15-minute siesta, right? But I mean, people were like on this mountain, leaves on the ground, just like, bleh, I'm like, is this guy dead? Like, is he napping? And at first I was checking on people, like, you
You
okay?
bro?
Like, you need anything? And people just like look at you like death. And they're just like, yeah, man. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I don't want to be that person. I was just like, don't sit down. Don't sit down. And I remember like people would just be like curled up in a blunt, like the, forgetting what they call this, survival blankets.
Yeah, survival
The
blanket.
reflector ones or
That
whatever.
like tinfoil looking one.
Yeah, to hold your body heat in. And like they would just be like curled up like on the
Yeah.
side of the mountain. And I was like, oh my God, I can't be that person. So yeah, I never wanted to quit, but